Welcome to Mindfulness Manufacturing, the podcast for and with manufacturing leaders. I'm Mike and this is Trevor. We want you to join us on our journey as we help you gain new insights, moments of clarity, and self-awareness.
Hey, if you're willing to step outside of your comfort zone and uncover new perspectives to make your next day better, grab your coffee and let's go. Welcome to another episode of Mindfulness Manufacturing. Very excited today. We are back into guest mode. We're very grateful and fortunate to have a special guest on today. Leave everyone with some different thoughts on leadership and how we can be more mindful in our days and in our work. And a quote about our guest here, I was kind of doing some research, and I really like this line that I read was describing him. He says, he plays to win, not for himself, but for the team. And when we can focus on others and we can focus on a higher goal and a higher target for what we're striving for other than ourselves, and great things can happen. So I'll hand over to you, Mike, to introduce.
Yeah, thanks, Trevor. This is really, really special to me based on the guest comes from the same community that I grew up in, I guess from day one right and through till now. I'm still within the same community. So want to welcome Bo Horvat, Vancouver Canucks captain. A lot of you will know Bo, and we're so happy to have you with us today, Bo.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me, guys. Pleasure to be on.
Awesome. So everybody's going through some uncertain times, and like Trevor mentioned, we've been challenged with getting guests on. So getting you here today is a real blessing for us to be able to have you here and help the listeners understand some of your different challenges or where you're going with your leadership in the NHL. The one thing that comes to mind that Trevor and I were discussing ahead of time was it's different being out of the game right now than what you'd be used to in terms of maybe playing golfing and some interactions with your teammates or friends. Everybody's in somewhat isolation mode and distancing. Once you get back into the rhythm of the game, how do you envision getting good alignment and getting everybody back focused into what you were doing before we went into the quarantine mode?
Yeah. I think at the beginning of the year, obviously this is different times and different situations for many reasons. And I think the biggest thing is just getting back to that team aspect again and getting everybody back in the same mindset. And what I mean by that, by just, when we're back in this and we're going to be start to play again, we want to win. And I think getting back into that mindset where everybody's on the same page, everybody knows the same goal at the end of the day is winning and playing as hard as you can every single night. And I think, a good way to do that is team bonding stuff, getting together. I know it's different in these times now, but hopefully when things starting to lighten up, we can get together and talk about things and get back to the way things were before, because I think that's what brings the team closer together is having everybody, on the same page.
Yeah, good point there. Do you stay in touch with the teammates during these times? Obviously, you probably have some communication.
Yeah, we have, like you said, like Zoom chats and group texts and stuff like that on different situations. Or just getting see what guys are doing and see how they're keeping busy and trying to stay in contact best we can, because we got some guys over in Sweden and Europe and in the US, and we've got guys all over the place. So it's important to keep in contact and see how guys are holding up, and because if we do go back, we could be potentially in the playoffs. So I mean, we need to be ready to go.
Yeah, good points.
So in manufacturing, Bo, we have a lot of times a smaller group and a lot of internal development and internal growth and leadership. And sometimes often you'll get promoted, whether that's from, you're going from loading parts to being a team leader or just a team leader to a supervisor. And sometimes when you get promoted, it's within your same group. So you're going from peers, and then all of a sudden your peers, you're leading them. And that's a similar transition that you went through, and congratulations on being a captain in Vancouver. So what are the things that you did, and how did you make that transition?
Yeah. It was, a lot of my teammates and a lot of, my supporting staff were super good. I mean, they, they were really supportive, and that made my transition a lot easier. So having a good, support staff around you, good teammates, people that are going to help you through it, older guys that, respect you as a player. And, they've all helped me make the transition a lot easier than it could have been. So, that in that sense, it was easy. But no, I think just dealing with the pressure of everything. It's Vancouver is a big media market, a big it's a big step to talk to those guys every single day and kind of take the heat for your team. But I wouldn't want anybody else to take it except for me on my team. So if we do have a bad game or whatever, I'd rather the media come at me than my teammates. And I don't know, it's just the way I am. So it was different in that sense, but I think you add that extra pressure to yourself, which, you shouldn't, but at the same time, I did. I don't know if it was just, I don't know if it's just in me, but you want to do so well for your teammates and for the organization, and you want to lead by example, and to kind of put all that into perspective and kind of deal with that. It was definitely challenging, but at the end of the day, if you have the right guys around you and the right mindset and teammates, then it makes the transition that much easier.
What do you think you did as a player to make that transition possible? Like, what were the things that you maybe continue doing now that you did as a player and just as a person?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I've learned and from captains I've had, it was positivity. I think, for me to come to the rink and come to my job every single day with a smile on my face and trying to, never have a bad day, I think is, the biggest thing that I've tried to do. Obviously you're going to have your ups and downs, but for me, the positivity side of things was the biggest thing for me. Just trying to stay positive in front of my teammates, win or loss, and just trying to make them feel good about themselves and good about our team every single day.
That just creates a great lead-in question that so many people are asking each other these days. So what are your practices to remain positive like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it just comes naturally or, for me, it's just again, my mindset going into every single day is just, if I'm down and, one of the leaders on, like if I see a leader on our team or myself, who's down on myself or down on the way we're playing or in a bad mood, then it kind of reflects and it, disperses amongst the group. And I don't think that's going to make anybody better. And, I've seen that. I've had bad days where I've kind of been moping around and tired on the ice and it just doesn't reflect well, for the rest of my teammates. So, just going through that and learning it definitely helped me out.
And I think a lot of that would be what you're talking about, Bo, is more leading by example.
Exactly. Yeah.
Especially with the captain, obviously people are looking towards you for leadership and guidance. When you think about your game is physical and obviously you work out to keep yourself in shape and be at your peak condition when you're playing the game. Are there other things outside of working out that you like to do to keep your stability, keep your head somewhat in check, because you're in a real pressure type of environment to produce results, obviously?
No, yeah. I try to, as much as I love the game and love hockey and constantly thinking about things, I think it's good to kind of get away from it a little bit and, kind of do other things, other sports, whether it's, I like to golf, so I go golfing and kind of clear my head that way, going for runs or just even coming home and just hanging out with my wife and dog, just trying to, decompress and stay sane. You can't get wrapped up in everything too much, or it's gonna, I think it backfires on you a little bit. So for me, just kind of decompress and think about other things is good for myself as well.
Yeah, and you can find those outlets when you're on the road as well, I would assume, right? You find ways to get away from the game and decompress your thoughts a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. Whether it's going for dinners with the guys or going to see shows on the road or exploring the cities. Like I never like to just sit in my hotel room. It's just, I don't think I've maybe had room service one or two times my entire career. So just getting out and enjoying the the beautiful cities we get to go visit every single year and enjoy the time with your teammates, because those are the things I think I'm going to miss the most.
Well, when you're raised in the community of Rodney, room service really is never discussed.
No, exactly. You're going out. Yeah. You're either cooking at home or you're going somewhere for
That's
for
right.
dinner.
And that's what I love about small town. It's all good.
Exactly.
It's all good.
So you talked about, who knows, there could be playoffs before you know it. So as a leader, then how do you pull that team together, Bo? How do you get everyone, back focused again when you are together? And
I think, like I said a little earlier, I think just getting everybody in the right mindset and wanting the exact same thing and wanting the end goal, which is ultimately to win the Stanley Cup. And I think everybody on our team wants that. Everybody, and when you play the game, that's what, at the end of the day, that's what we're all playing for, right? So to get everybody on that mindset, all on the same page, and listening to the coaching staff and to what we have to do is going to be the biggest thing. And that's like reaching out to guys like right now and asking how guys are doing and making sure that when we do come back, everybody's ready to go.
Nice.
When you think of things like the media, obviously you get quite a bit of exposure now. I've been reading a lot of your stuff on Instagram and different social media feeds. You find it challenging sometimes to deal with media? I mean, you're obviously going to be in the limelight a little bit, being an NHL team.
Yeah, I mean,
you handle that.
Yeah, I think it's just our coach made a good point. It's just blocking out the white noise, he calls it. Mm-hmm. So the media, fans. Sometimes, obviously, you're in a big market like that where it's a passionate fan base. You're going to get people's opinions all the time, and you got to take the good with the bad, and know that you're just passionate fans that wants their team to win, and we want to win as well. So, kind of like I said, blocking out that white noise, blocking it out, and just focusing on the internal things, the guys in the dressing room, the coaching staff, and listen to those guys. And I think that's going to be the best thing for you as a player and for the team.
For sure. You said a key word there, listening. That's one thing. Trevor and I work with different organizations from the top right through to shop floor leadership. And that's the one biggest challenge trying to really coach people, is to shut down more of the talking and open up the ears. And I'm happy you do that, because that's a really important piece, to listen to what people offer around you to give you some sort of support and guidance. It's a good point. For
sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So, Bo, you have a real persona of humbleness, and growing up in the area that you did with your parents, what's the biggest thing you take away from Rodney and the whole area that you grew up in to attribute to, your personality today? What was the advantage of growing up how you did?
I wouldn't have changed anything how I grew up. I think the thing that comes to mind is support from just everybody in the community. They've always supported me, ever like as long as I've been growing up. I think the whole town of Rodney is kind of like one big family. I think I have half my family's makes up the town of Rodney. So just having all those people's support throughout the years, helping me get to hockey practice, helping me, when I was playing a couple of years in Toronto, driving me down the 401 to meet my parents, to drive me to Toronto, like just stuff like that. Everybody in the community helped me do and accomplish. I think, just speaks to, how I grew up and the way I am today. It definitely had a big reason for where I am right now.
Yeah, well put. Rodney's a great community. Exactly. When you think about, different moments over the years, can you tell us one moment you're, particularly proud of? What stands out to you? And for the listeners, why is that? What makes it such a proud moment?
That's it's a good question. There's a couple things, obviously. I think obviously getting drafted to the NHL, I was very proud of myself, and just all the accomplishments, and that was my ultimate goal, was to get drafted to the NHL, and to have it happen and go to Canadian City in a market like Vancouver where, I love everything about the city and the fans and where I'm at. So I'm very grateful for that. And I'm proud that I am a Vancouver Canuck. And I think obviously being named captain, I mean, what greater honor to wear that letter on your shirt, for, again, like a great organization, a great city, great fans. And, I'm just very honored and humbled and grateful for everything that I've gotten so far. So yeah, it's been great.
Good. The flip side of that, can you think of something over the years, if you had to redo it, you'd do it differently? Is there anything you look back and think, geez, if I relive that moment, I would have did this?
I don't know. Maybe looking back on the end of my my Canucks career and my NHL career, maybe I'd have something. But right now, I don't think I'd redo anything. Everything that I've done, my family's done for me to get where I am today. I don't know where else I'd want to be. I'm living my childhood dream. I'm playing in the NHL and playing for a great organization, great team. I mean, I don't know what else I'd want. Maybe win a Memorial Cup or World Juniors. Maybe would have been nice to win one of those when I was at them. But no, I don't think I'd change anything.
Awesome.
When you talk about mental health and mindfulness, it's often the struggle is people are living a life that they want others maybe influence them to, or just not in the situation they want to be in, or not acting as authentic. It just sounds like you're just living who you are, Bo. And that's the easiest life to live, is that when you just get to be yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, something that I've tried to stay true to as myself and not let my head get too big or overconfident and take for granted where I am or how I've got there. Because, it's a great career, but it's not it's not a long career. I think some guys retire 30, 35 around there. So I'm not going to be in the NHL forever. And for me to be grateful for where I am and make the most of it while I'm here is the biggest thing for me.
When you think about role models, who would be your role model? Who's somebody that stands out to you, and why is that?
I mean, I think growing up, it's just my parents. They kept me grounded. They kept me humble. They did everything to get me where I am today. They'd be my biggest role models. I mean, they've been there since day one, and I wouldn't be where I am today without them. And I think them pushing me to be the best person and player I can be is a big reason why I am where I am.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Good people for sure.
Is there anything that you do to stay grounded? Like, obviously you sound close to your parents and your family and you keep things in perspective. What advice do you have for others to stay grounded like that?
Yeah, I think just surrounding yourself with good people and the right people, I think is what I've tried to do my entire career and my entire life. My wife is unbelievable for me to talk to and kind of vent to her sometimes, obviously, about hockey and just about life. But no, she keeps me sane during this whole thing, and is basically my rock to kind of go back to and talk to things when things are bothering me. And no, she's been there through a lot of my junior and obviously all my NHL career. So to have somebody to come home and talk to about things, it definitely it keeps me sane through all of this for sure.
Yeah, we need those people that can give us feedback, that we trust, that care about us, and if you're if you're a listener and you're in your own situation, it's a good thing to think about, like, who is your rock? Who's the person that you can come back and ask for feedback and ask how you're showing up. So no, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, and she'll tell me too if I'm getting too cocky or getting a little out of line. She'll let me know. So it's good to keep me in line that way.
Yeah, that makes a beautiful relationship for sure.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's
awesome. You said surrounding yourself with people. It's there's an old saying: you become the average of the 4 or 5 people you surround yourself with, and if you don't like that average, then you best take a look and make a change. So that really hits home. And for the listeners, that's something to really think about too. Positivity comes from the people around you. And if it's not there, then you may need to make some adjustments, which makes sense.
For sure.
Well, I always like to ask this question towards the end is, what was the first concert you went to, Bo?
First concert was a Nickelback concert. Actually, my parents took me to, I think I was 15 years old at the Budweiser Gardens here in London. It was great. Yeah, I was really into real rock when I was younger, and going to that concert was pretty cool. It's something I'll never forget.
That's awesome. Good Canadian band.
Yeah.
And then this is another one. So if you get stuck somewhere, and whether it's an island, you only can take one collection. So one artist, one band, you get to have all their music, and that's the only music that you're going to be able to have. Who's that one artist that you're going to take with you?
Wow, that's a tough question because I love music and I love.
So do we.
I know that's so tough. I mean, I like country. I don't know. I like a lot of Eric Church's stuff. It's really good.
We can relate to that.
One of my favorite artists. I'm really into. I like Luke Combs. He's one of my favorites. Obviously, the newer artists, but a big country guy. But I love like the old rock too, like classic rock, 80s rock. Some early like late 90s stuff, early 2000s. So no, I kind of vary depending on what the mood is. So it all depends on what I want to work out to that day.
Sure. Sounds diverse. Lots of great stuff there for sure.
Yeah, it's tough to pick
there's
one.
a lot of depth in Eric Church, so I think if you had that, wouldn't be a bad choice.
Exactly.
Good variety.
Alrighty. Well, we're going to wrap things up here. We want to say thanks, Bo, for obviously taking the time out. Big shout out to your parents, your dad specifically, for getting me in contact with you. So appreciate that. We've known each other for a long, long time. And for the listeners, obviously you're going to learn some great tips from the Vancouver Canucks captain. So really appreciate you taking this time, Bo.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much. Greatly appreciate it.
Yeah,
Have a great day, guys.
Yeah, take care.
Hey guys, thanks for taking the time and joining us today. We had so much fun. Please remember to subscribe. It's free. Share it with colleagues. Look for our next episode in a couple weeks.
If you want to drive results, the first step is realizing how you show up.
That's the essence of mindfulness in manufacturing.